Hey, what's guys? Shit, welcome back to Witch on the Holy Night, and I just want to give a little disclaimer here. So I already played the first 15-ish minutes of Chapter 4, but I forgot to hit start recording. Luckily, nothing really crazy happens in the first 15 minutes, but the first little bit is not blind, unfortunately. So I just want to throw that out there. What can you do? But anyway, last time we did chapter 3, Nights, where we saw what happened that night that Sojiro was talking about, or the night before, where Sojiro saw a woman with a flamethrower, quote unquote, burning a person, even though it wasn't actually a person alive. And yeah, let's get on into chapter 4, Blues in Her Name. And once again, the first I'll tell you when we get to a point that is blind, but yeah, the first little bit's gonna be I've already seen. There really isn't any other way of saying this. I am a magician. Kind of like those witches in fairy tales who live alone in the woods and perform miracles with the wave of a finger. Well, the popular depiction of it differs from reality. It's closer to the truth than you know. Though just so we're clear, no, I don't fly through the sky on a broom. Unfortunately. That'd be cool though. I cannot transform into animals or speak with small birds. Modern mages are nothing so fanciful. Again, unfortunately, our existence sounds unbelievable, but we're quite grounded. Though it may seem like we can do anything, we're actually majorly constrained. And while I still have a lot to learn about it, this is my real job. Sounds a lot more romantic than being a high school student, right? I guess so. Naturally, this is a secret I don't just share with anyone. A mage must do everything in their power to conceal their work. That's the first and most important of the Association's 10 laws. Not that I'm tempted to let the cat out of the bag in the least. My secret identity as an honor student is intact, and absolutely no good would come of me revealing my true nature. Yeah, probably. If anything, it'd only lead to more headaches. That's why I do everything in my power to keep it a secret. Of course, if I'd accomplished anything as a magician by now, then maybe I'd see it differently. I fantasized about revealing my secret life's work to a single, special person when I finally make something of myself. Like a certain dense boy who just moved into town. No? Okay. Yeah, it'd be pretty stellar to just confess one day. By the way, I'm a magician. Yeah, that'd be shocking, I guess. That idea alone is enough to keep me from spoiling the big reveal, regardless of the Association's rules. My grandfather patted me on the head when I shared these thoughts with him. I don't know if that was praise or what, but I remember that his touch was gentle. I first learned that I would be succeeding my grandfather on the day I graduated middle school. When I returned home, there he was. Your elder sister left on a journey. From this day forth, you are the heir to the Awazaki. And, again, I've already seen this, but I was theorizing in the recording that never was. I'm assuming Toko got the crest, right? And then she left. So Aoko's working from, like, scratch. Like, she doesn't have the family crest. That's my assumption. Let me know if I'm wrong, and maybe it's the other way around, and maybe Toko didn't get the crest yet, and so it was then given to, but I don't know. He said it in such a matter-of-fact way. I knew that the Awazaki family passed down this old tradition of magecraft, but to be honest, I never imagined I'd be the one to wield it. Magecraft is supposed to be passed down to a single child. It was my sister's role to take the mantle, and I had no interest in dedicating myself to so many rules and routines. I planned to live a normal life. I had hopes and dreams for the future. I felt bad for my sister, but I was determined to live life my way. And while I managed to do just that for a time, I was blindsided by a vicious counterpunch. Yeah, your sister just being like, "Peace! Later! Hasta bye-bye!" And, yeah. Since then, I've been thrust headlong into a world I'd only observed from afar. It was a hell of a way to start high school. Yeah, but I suppose it wasn't all that bad, all things considered. It could have been worse, I suppose. Could have died. A lot has happened since then. I was so dazed by this newfound life that a year of school motored right by. I was the second year before I knew it. Thankfully, nothing drastic has happened. The 6 months my roommate and I totally tried to kill each other notwithstanding. I feel like trying to kill each other is kind of drastic, but yeah, okay. As it happens, I've got a natural talent at this magic stuff, so I've yet to have any hang-ups there either. I'm only human, so I've had my fair share of headaches for sure, but never once did I worry about my future. I thought my life would be smooth sailing all the way. If only everything had gone to plan last night. Yeah, getting caught doing magic stuff, yeah, that's gonna throw a wrench in things.
どう?
Alice Quonji asked Aoko Aozaki the second she entered the house. Her dark eyes succeeded where her voice failed to communicate the gravity of the situation. The gravity of the situation. Aoko took off her unflattering coat, hung it on the hanger, and sat down on the sofa. Yeah, not well. Alice sat across from her, with a table separating them.
そっちは?
And yeah, she just ignores the question.
よくないわね。偵察に行けるのは7個くらい。ここのところ使ってばかりで、作り置きをする余裕もなかったし。
I don't think we didn't get an explanation for these, or we don't get an explanation for these. So but they're coins. Are they like familiars, and the coins are like a catalyst to summon the familiars, or what? Alice's gaze drifted from Aoko to the box on the table. Yeah, see, the coins.
町を監視していた奴はいないの? 町の偵察は完璧なんでしょ? そいつら。それは昼間の話よ。夜間飛行は危険が多いわ。
Which is when you need them most. Meaning they were of the least use when needed the most. Aoko sighed.
そういうあなたは朝は随分と強気だったけど。ん? ああ、こっちは予定通りよ。
Is it good?
明日までには絞り込めると思う。今朝、飛び丸にうちの生徒の自宅と行動時間を調べさせたから。
Oh yeah, what's coming up is kinda scary.
あの時間に公園をうろつくやつはめったにいないし、簡単に割り出せる。
Oh, okay, I also said this in the last time, but shouldn't she have known it was Sojiro? He's the only one with multiple jobs that would keep him out that late. You'd think he would have been one of the first suspects. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like he would have been an obvious suspect to have.
そう簡単に行くの? 行くわよ。伊達に生徒会に勤めてないわ。その程度のデータは揃えてある。
Which is fucking terrifying.
月1のバイト先はおろか、親しい友人宅との移動時間、その優先順位まで調べ上げてるんだから。
Aoko, I'm pretty sure that's an abuse of power. I'm gonna just put that out there. I don't think you're supposed to be doing that.
人には見せたくなかったリストだけど、そんな余裕ないでしょ。だから、そういうのが向いてる副会長にやらせたの。
That's the only reason you keep him around? You would have killed him by now if he wasn't useful? I don't want the answer to that, actually. Incidentally, the creation of this secret file started the moment Aoko became student council president. The mere rumor of his existence was enough to strike fear into the entire student body. Yeah, no, that's fair. I would be fucking kind of freaked out if the hard ass student council. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say, cause like, I don't know, the idea of like the student council and like the student council president and like in a lot of Japanese like anime and media makes them seem like really more important than you'd think they would be. Like because I went to 2 different middle schools because I moved. One of them, there was a student council, but I don't think they really did anything. Not that I can remember anyway. So I don't know. But again, you know, I don't know.
そう。徹底しているわね。
Yeah,
相変わらず。
uncomfortably thorough. Alice was only mildly surprised. It had been almost 2 years since they started living together. She knew as well as anyone that when Alco put her mind to something, she saw it through to the end.
ま、私もあれがこんな風に役立つとは思ってもみなかったけど。ほんと、備えあれば憂いなしとはこのことね。
Yeah. But what happened last night was far beyond a mere exception to the rule. This predicament should not have even been possible.
それより、原因は分かったの？結界の結びに不手際があったなんてのは聞かないわよ。
Alco glared at her. The ward was Alice's responsibility. If it was to blame for last night's trouble, Alice had to own up to her fair share. Alice and Alco may have been roommates and partners, but it was a relationship of convenience. Yeah. Well, lineage had brought them together. They were more like enemies than allies. Ultimately, they just weren't a match. Where there was a blunder, it was punished. Where there was an opening, it would be attacked. If there was even an opportunity, the two of them would kill each other in the event of such a moment. Yeah. Alice locked eyes with Alco. Alco's fierce gaze could make a grown man cower in fear, but Alice didn't bat an eyelash.
仮の話だけど、あの結界に落ち度があったのなら、今まで何度もこういう状況になっていたでしょうね。
Yeah, that's a fair point. I suppose you're right. Alco agreed as the question reaffirmed her trust in Alice.
結界のあり方は完璧だったのね。
絶対とまでは断言はできないけど。
Alice answered as flatly as ever. A bounded field is like a sanctuary sealed away from the real world. Steps are taken whereby a certain area is cut off from the outside world. There are various kinds of bounded fields. There are physical ones that close off an area behind a wall, and less tangible ones that use mirrors, mist, or trees to conceal that which occurs within. However, when closing off an area to the outside world, you cannot avoid communicating the abnormality's existence. In other words, the area may be closed off to the outside world, but it's impossible to hide the fact that it's closed off. In time, someone will take interest in a sealed-off area even if they cannot see what's going on inside. Some might say this is putting the cart before the horse. The ideal field would be one that was both undetectable and impervious to interference from the outside. That was exactly the kind Alice had generated in the park the night before. But apparently not.
その場所に用があっても、今はないように思わせれば、誰もそこには立ち入らない。隠したい場所の周りに一時的な意識の改ざんを促す結界を張る。手間はかかるんだけど、1時間程度の人よけには信頼性は高い結界よね。
Which, okay, and again, I did this last time, but makes me wonder, right? Did Sojiro, does Sojiro have like some sort of innate magical ability that even he's not aware of? Or is it like purely because he's so incredibly like dense and like unassuming that he didn't notice, and then the bounded field itself, like connected to, I guess, Aoko at the time, also didn't notice? Like, he just doesn't register? Which I guess maybe that could be his ability as well. I don't know, right? Because I feel like that makes sense. There's no real... If there wasn't some sort of something unique about him, he should have been detected, right? So he has to have some sort of power he's not even aware of.
アリスの鏡を使った一級品だし、途中で破れることもない。事実、入ってきたのはあの人形だけだとはっきり感じられた。これで完璧じゃなかったら何が完璧なのよ。
That's a good question.
私もわからない。森作りに落ち度はなかったわ。森は数日かけて栽培したものだし、今まで通り信頼できる結界よ。けど例外があったのなら、どこかで見落としがあったのね。
Though Alice's words conceded the possibility, her eyes expressed her confidence that she had overlooked nothing.
参った。こうなると、一番いいのは、あいつが人形使いだってパターンね。それならかろうじて納得できる。
Yeah,
相手が魔術師なら、結界の侵入ぐらいできるでしょうし。
That's unfortunately not the case.
問題は、侵入した時の違和感をどうやって消したかってことだけど。
Again, I'm thinking he has some sort of weird power that he's not aware of. That's the guess I'm putting my money on. The thought of being targeted by this individual was pretty terrifying. If they were able to penetrate Alice's field, it could only mean that their skill in magecraft was superior to Alice's. Alice, in her current state, would be completely helpless against such a foe.
その線はないわ。彼は部外者よ。ムクドリはともかく、ロビンが後をたどれなかったもの。魔力の気配は全くなし。誰かの魔術で操られている犠牲者というのもないわね。
Aoko was quickly running out of straws to grasp at, and that meant she was out of questions to ask. All she could do was call it bad luck and leave it at that.
魔術師の秘密を見られて、おまけに目撃者を逃がしたか。普通の高校生の悩みじゃないな。
Because your sister decided to just up and leave, and you got stuck with being a mage. The sofa groaned as she leaned back. Her gaze went up to the brown ceiling with a sigh. It wasn't much of a view. She was becoming increasingly depressed. Well, that's not good.
青子、覚悟を決めておいて。
Her roommate's voice seemed indifferent, but Aoko just kept staring up at the wooden ceiling.
それとも、あなたにできないのなら、私が言ってあげてもいいけど。
You know, that might be better for you in the long run, but I feel like if you do that, Sojiro would die. The cool-mannered girl's statement carried an equally icy implication. Aoko, I mean, he's pretty, I don't know. Aoko took the words in slowly with as much sincerity as she could muster. It was like trying to swallow molten lead.
そうだ。覚悟なんて、もう決めたでしょ。
The thought sounded hollow even as it popped into her head. This was clearly different from last time. While the aim was indeed the same, the circumstances surrounding her target were clearly different. She may have been determined before. That was as a mage. If enemies emerged, she would kill them. If she was challenged, she would step up to the fight. If it was a fight between two mages and her opponent was in the wrong, even if this could only end in death for one of them, It was an outcome both parties could accept. Kill or be killed. Morality had no weight on the scale. But this time was different. Her opponent was neither enemy nor mage. Even if she was prepared to kill them, this person was likely not ready to die. Yeah, probably not. I mean, he is kind of weird. Maybe he just accept it, like, oh, well, sure, shit, I'm dead. But, yeah. That's why morality did factor into it now. Was she truly up to the task of murdering an innocent person? That's the question, isn't it? Could she swallow the fact that this was a common occurrence for a mage? She snorted sardonically. Being a mage didn't mean that Alco was some kind of monk who could cut ties with the real world on a whim. If there was one thing Alco hated, it was doing things without conviction or an understanding of exactly why she was doing them. When she acted, she preferred to act decisively.
やるしかないだろうね。
As she said it, she got up from the sofa, having had her fill of the ceiling for one day. Alco had returned to the alcove always, and Alice was done probing her.
じゃあこれ
As if to reward her, Alice produced a small bottle. It fit neatly in the palm of her hand. The bottle looked completely out of place in her slender fingers. The glass was cloudy, and it appeared empty. Some shreds of paper remained on the front where there was once a label.
何よそれ。
Alco stared at the bottle suspiciously.
収納の小瓶ちょうど一つ余ってたからあげるわ
Thanks.
はい。
You fair?
名前は忘れたけど中国の小説に出てきたのと同じよ
Alco was miraculously able to parse what Alice meant. That's good.
それってレンゲ堂の兄弟の話？じゃああの赤いひょうたんと同じなわけ？言いたくないけどそこら辺の風邪薬のラベルを無理やり剥がして小瓶に見せかけてるそれが？
I mean, but if you make them nowadays, you probably don't want to make it look like some ornate gourd, to be honest. So, I feel like it's fair. Again, maybe could have made it look less plebeian, I guess, but, you know, make do. Also, I really... in a minute here, we'll get to where I haven't been, but one of the last things I said last time was I really liked this shot of Alice. I don't know why, but her, like, straight up, like, being like, like, actually considering Alco's words and staring at the bottle. I don't know, something about it was cute. I don't know. Alice looked at the bottle and acknowledged how ordinary it looked. She also understood that she would not be the one using it as she set it on the table.
赤いひょうたんじゃなくて陽子玉の上瓶の方
Again, I can't tell if this is meant to be a joke. I think she's joking. But it's hard to tell with her.
そういう問題じゃない。私は魔術師としての雰囲気を論じてるんだ。
些細なことを気にするのねせいろがんの瓶じゃないだけいいと思うけど
Yeah, walking around with a bottle of laxatives would probably get you some funny looks. She made a good point.
蓋を開けて相手の名前を尋ねればいいから
Okay, we are now at the point that I'm blind. That was a little longer than I thought it was. But yeah, we're at the point where it's now blind. I stopped at the slide before this. I didn't see this open the lid and ask for the name. Okay, just open the lid and ask for the person's name.
ただし相手に抵抗する意志が残っている場合小瓶は割れるから気をつけて
Which, okay, was that story the same one that, Master Roshi's, like, demon containment wave thing was based on. Because didn't he also like have little bottles that he would like put people in? It's a little bit different, but I feel like it's the same concept, right? I wonder if they were based off the same story. Cause like Son Goku, right? Like his Goku's Earth name, whatever. Like that is based off Journey to the West, which is also a Chinese tale, right? So Master Roshi's thing, since this gourd, or right now bottle currently, was based off a Chinese tale, maybe Master Roshi's demon containment wave trick was also based off that. I don't know. Just something I observed last time. The similarities. Which I actually mentioned this when she first talked about the bottle or the gourd earlier. Alco raised her eyebrows.
ちょっと待った。抵抗する意志があるとダメって、眠っている時にやれってこと？
Yeah.
それは試したことがなかったわ。
Shouldn't you try these things if you're gonna give them to Alco to use? Like, this is kind of, a matter of importance, you can't just leave it up to chance.
眠っているのに返事をする人っているの？
Yeah?
たまにいるけど。まあ、確かに珍しいわね、そういう人。
In that case, one would have to weaken them until they're about to pass out.
ああ、そうそう。薬や魔術がかかっていると、その重さでも割れるから気をつけて。
Okay.
使えない。それってほとんど役立たずってことじゃない。
A strong throw against a wall?
それは青子次第ね。
Yeah. So are you saying that these limitations are on Alco? But they wouldn't be for you? Or like, what are you trying to say? Alice turned away as she replied, as if the topic no longer mattered to her.
はあ、アリスがこういう小道具好きなのは知ってたけどね。これも趣味なわけ？
Alco asked, hoping Alice would deny it. I don't think she will, though, to be perfectly honest.
多分。
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get bored sometimes. You gotta just mess with little, like, knickknacks.
それで、どうするの？持っていくのか行かないのか。
Without answering, Alco dithered a bit before taking the bottle and putting it in her pocket. Aha. She figured she might be able to find some use for it. Maybe. You never know. That's a lot of rooms. 2 hours had passed and the clock struck 9. Their conversation had moved from the drawing room to the sunroom, and had manifested into the kind of scene one would not expect in such a mansion. What?
まあ本当はね、飛び丸に任せる気はなかったんだけど。
What am I looking at? Is that like... Is this supposed to be meat or potatoes? No, I think the things at the top are potatoes. No, that's a mushroom. Okay, I see a mushroom. I see what I think is a slice of a daikon radish. I don't know. I'm not sure. A hot earthenware pot sat on the table. Alco spat out complaints to no one in particular as she plucked food from it with her chopsticks. Tonight, they were eating a traditional Japanese meal that looked out of place in this mansion. So yeah, like, oh yeah, obviously this is a hot pot, right? But like, again, I'm trying to decipher what's in there. I don't think potato is usually in a hot pot, so it's probably meat. when it came to the kind of Japanese hot pot where all one had to do was buy and boil ingredients, it was usually Aoko's responsibility. Alice sat across from Aoko as she silently poked at the pot with a fork.
山城のやつが来るなり、しずきくんはまだ部活に入っていないから面倒見てあげてくれないかななんて言ってくるもんだからさ。全校生徒の行動範囲なんて見直す気力なくなっちゃったのよ。
I mean, was it that you don't keep track of every single student, or is it that you just wanted to, like, avoid Shizuki? Like that, you know, it just seems like a flimsy, excuse. The egg she had plucked was still as silky as the baby's bottom, so she returned it to the pot. She settled for the shirataki noodles instead. She just bonked the fork with chopsticks.
あのバカがバイトで忙しいのは知ってるわよ。
Or so were you not pestering him because you were being compassionate?
だからできるだけ春先までのんびりしてて、あんなのでも親身になってくれそうな部の部長に当たってみたのに。
And the two most accommodating were the swimming and track clubs, I guess?
ありがとうの一つもないってのはちょっと尺に触るわよね。
Did you explain that to him that you were not?
聞いてるアリス。
Like, did you go out of? Did you? I don't remember you telling him that you went with people who would be accommodating, would like let him out early and whatnot. Like, you didn't even. You just. He's not a mind reader, Aoko. Like, come on. As if her mouth was full, she simply nodded in response. Her expression stated that she had no interest in nor opinion on the matter, but she at least appeared to be listening. That's good, I guess. Satisfied, Aoko nibbled on some hand-pan fish cake.
それに私、いい人なんて言われるやつは信用できないのよ。あろうことか、飛び丸までそんなこと口走る始末だし。あれはいい人なんじゃなくて、ただぼんやりしてるだけなんだっての。
You know, if she actually... Never mind, forget about it.
だいたいあそこまで言われて怒りもしないなんてどうかしてるわ。
I mean... He... I don't know, he's just dense, or not really dense, but like... He tries to see the best in situations or in people, I get. Like, why would you... The fact that she's not upset, that he doesn't get angry, is kind of funny. I don't know. Her thoughts went to what had happened in the student council room earlier that day. She remembered how non-responsive Sojiro had been to her words. His unconcerned face alone was enough for her to swallow the rest of her handpan without chewing it.
何が分かってるんだなよ。
His words were a lot like those that ended her childhood. But then are you just ignoring the fact that he then went on to say, of course you understand, you're strong like that, or it was something like that. Like...
青子ちゃんは分かっているんだね。それでも自分であり続けられるということはとても強いことなんだよ。
Is that her mother, or is that Toko talking to her? Perhaps it was meant as a compliment, but she took it as a patronizing way to pity her. Because the person who said it had acted like she was looking at a wounded animal.
あんな変態の言ってたことなんて今さらどうでもいいけどさ。
Like, he literally then went on this... Is she just ignoring the fact that he... She's kind of infuriating, I'm not gonna lie. That episode might have made her the most confused she'd ever been in her life. Yet, what shocked young Aoka the most was to look... Was the look of pity on the face of the person she admired the most.
喧嘩。
Alice, what? The abrupt comment stopped her in her tracks.
ごめん、聞いてなかった。喧嘩ってあの喧嘩？
Alice nodded.
あなたの感想だけじゃ状況はよくつかめないけど、つまり青子はその人に喧嘩を売りたかったのね。
Yeah, that's not a wrong assessment. Alice bit into the very last handpan. I don't know what a handpan is. Her remark was unexpected, but completely on point.
なんでそうなるのよ。
Because you're being very unreasonable? Like what? Like
私はあんなのと1秒だって関わりたくないだけだってば。だいたいそれどころじゃないし、興味とか全くないし、会話もこれ以上ないってぐらい簡潔に切り上げたし。
Aren't you the one going on about him unprompted? Like, what do you... Okay, yeah, sure.
どうして今そんな話をするの？
Yeah, exactly! Thank you, Alice! Thank you! Oh my god.
え？それは、あんたに今日の調査過程を知らせてあげたのよ。それ
Right.
以外何があるっていうの？
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I believe you. What other reason could Alice be suggesting Alco had for bringing it up? I don't know. It would be several hours later in bed that Alco realized that she had dug her own grave. Yeah.
いいけど、私は別に。ただ、青子は本当にその人が嫌いなの？
Alice ate her hot pot in silence as if she was honoring some sort of sacred ritual. Her face was as indifferent as always, but she was secretly enjoying how flustered Alco was. Fair. Alco was none the wiser to this. Normally she would have noticed immediately, but she was not quite herself at this moment.
本当にって、そりゃそうよ。気に食わないって何度も言ってるじゃない。
Right, yeah. But have you considered why he annoys you? I mean, you yourself earlier in the day said, man, back in chapter 2, that you told Tobimaro you didn't even know why you were angry around him.
そう。具体的には？
は？具体的にはって、そんなのに理由なんて。
I mean, you should. She trailed off as she finally realized how disagreeable she was being. Right? Thank you, Alice, for knocking some sense into her. God damn. She could come up with no reason why. Her instincts had told her that she was incompatible with that hick. But why such a strong reaction? More than anything in the world, Alco hated emotions without reason, and decisions made with no rationale.
嫌いなものは嫌いなんだから、ちゃんとどっかに理由があるんだと思うけど。
Again, I think I'm lumping this in with why he wasn't noticed by the Bounded Field. I think there's some sort of like magical, like innate magical, ability or something about him that just throws off like magic and magicians and whatnot. Like that would make sense to me at least. She became more flustered the more she talked. Unfortunately for her, she couldn't come up with a coherent reason to hate Sojiro Shizuki. It wasn't his fault that he had zero common sense. It was the fault of the environment he grew up in. In fact, it was admirable that he was trying so hard to adapt to civilized society. As clueless as he might seem, he wasn't a complete waste of space. Gee, that's a nice thought, compliment, I guess. If he seemed a bit slow, it was only because his gentle nature compelled him to think before acting. When one looked at everything objectively, the conclusion was obvious. That would be. As much as she was loath to admit it, he really was the good guy everyone had him pegged as. Maybe that's why you don't like him. Because everyone pins him as like the good. I don't know.
ちょっと本気かっての。人間的に悪いところ、本当にみじんもないのか？あれ。
I don't know. Is there? There was plenty, so she left it at that for now. The chopsticks she'd been using came to a stop. She was getting very annoyed. An irrational hatred burned through her head. At least she knows it's irrational now. That's good. Unable to come to terms with her feelings, she desperately tried to analyze Sojiro, but her mind only went in more circles. Alice fixed Aoko with a deadpan stare.
呆れた。
A small sigh.
らしくないわね、青子。
I mean, okay, well, yeah, you should be sure. Those words were the final blow. Aoko felt the floor fall out from under her. Hey, metaphorically, I hope. She was unable to leave her chair until long after Alice had finished eating and left. She's gonna be stewing on that for a while, I think. However, even after getting knocked down, Aoko Aozaki was not one to be kept that way. Oh boy. She made short work of clearing up after dinner, and after conceding the first bath of the night to Alice, left the drawing room. Since it was customary in these sorts of mansions to turn the lights off when leaving an empty room, the only lit areas of the house were the drawing room and the two girls' bedrooms. The upstairs was enveloped in darkness. Darkness like I had the beginnings of a joke, but I lost it. Aoko briskly made her way to the deepest part of the east wing along the long corridor, illuminated only by the light of the moon, and arrived at her room.
結論として、やっぱり騙し討ちは気に食わない。
Okay. She had been considering this on the way down the corridor, or perhaps ever since she left the drawing room. The moment she entered her room, she drew her proverbial line in the sand.
やるにしても隠れるのはなし。正面から堂々と向かい合って理由を言う。
Okay. This was not a concession driven by feelings of sympathy or compassion. For her, this was simply the way things ought to be. What, is she gonna, like, just straight up say to his face, I hate you? Like, that would be kind of mean.
よし。そうと決まれば。
What? After settling her resolve, she headed to the study next door.
木曜棚の当時欄、緑の背表紙と。
Without hesitating, she removed one book from the countless volumes on the shelf. The introductory textbooks transported here from the Awazaki residence were separated into 6 shelves, labeled Monday to Saturday. Aoko had organized the books by topic, genre, and purpose, and had more or less memorized exactly what was in her personal library. Okay. So are you just brushing up on something then? Referencing any of this material took her no time at all. As was befitting the role of the keeper of this study. Yeah, I guess so. though this keeper's fiefdom was nothing more than a small room. Both Aoko and Alice had given up all hope on the cluttered mess of a library in the annex. Nevertheless, on occasion, Aoko would have no option other than to give Alice a heads up and visit it when the study did not meet her needs.
できればそれは避けたいところだけど、と。
Yeah, that'd be horrible. Oh my god. Aoko placed the thick green book down and took a seat. The desk she sat at was sturdy but uninviting. It wasn't the sort of furniture girls her age grew attached to, but she liked its minimalist elegance nonetheless. She flipped lightly through the book's old, worn pages.
アリスみたいな結界は私にはまだ無理だ。人払いはその場所自体に頼らないといけないか。
Okay. The mountains? The woods? The school building empty at night? Is she planning murder? I think she's planning murder. I mean, she does have to deal with the person, you know, who saw the whole thing in the park, but this is kind of ominous. She was looking for a place that would be, except for the worst of luck, void of people, allowing her to forego the use of magecraft.
茨の壁だの魔力の霧だの、そういう回りくどいのもなんだしな。退路を断つっていうなら、もっとこう見た目にも状況的にも派手な方が効果的だし。
Muttering about how there had to be some basic spell that fit her needs, she continued to flip through the pages. It goes without saying that she was looking for a way to deal with the witness from the previous night. Yeah, I gathered that. Magecraft's uses were many, but not all-encompassing. Fundamentally, Magecraft was good for making things or phenomena that existed already, well, more or less bypassing the time and resources conventional means would require. Okay. It was, however, unable to manifest phenomena that were impossible in this world. Except for the... what are they called? Like sagecrafts or whatever? Or... I forget the exact name for them. But the things that should be impossible but like certain people are able to do. It was essentially an equivalent exchange that used a variety of shortcuts. A phenomenon made possible by human hands, actualized by an individual's power. That was generally what Magecraft was. Okay. To give a simple example, if Aoko were so inclined, she could make an entire lake appear at the mansion. However, it had to be something that existed within this world. Nothing, not even the smallest matter, could escape this unbreakable law. Okay. Got it. Even if Aoko were to release a level of heat on par with an F-15 fighter, Jet's afterburner, that event would only be possible if the circuit named Aoko Awazaki acted as a temporary input variable in a magical formula. Wait, did I say this last time? I think I did. Maybe not, though. No. I think I said it during nights, but I'm gonna say it again. If there isn't one already, they should put out, like, Nasu should write like a Nasu-verse like spell book, like that, like not an actual spell, you know what I mean though, like going over like all the possible like spells and uses in the like Nasu-verse and like compiling them into like a, I don't know, I feel like that into like a book. I feel like that'd be a really good like piece of merchandise. I feel like a lot of people would buy that. Again, I don't remember if I said that during nights or if I said that during the recording that ever was, but no, it had to have been during nights because they were using magic then. Yeah. So anyway, for you guys, I'm repeating myself, but still, I feel like that'd be a cool piece of merch. Yeah, okay, and went over like all the terminology. Aoko Awazaki acted as a temporary input variable in a magical formula. Okay. The derived equivalence was simply a value that already occurred in reality. Okay. If the variable in the equation did not exist elsewhere in reality, the spell would not be valid. The imaginary element known as magical energy was like a lie that could only slip its fantasy through the network of order at the moment of ignition. Whew. I'm out of breath. Giving form to the non-existent illusions invading reality was something the universe did not allow. Yeah, fair.
とは言っても、エーテルは基本何にでもできるんで、大元が嘘なんだっけ。魔力だけで構成されたものは幻想扱いされて急速に消えていくとか。典型的な結界、茨の壁とかはもともと茨を生やしておいて魔力で一気に成長強化してるものだし。
Okay.
魔力っていうのは結局使い勝手のいいガソリン兼事象に火をつける火花ってわけで。
So, magic equals firework, fuel, whatever. Right, okay.
なんて言いつつ。
What is that face? What kind of face is that?
架空要素云々より基本的な回路の接続と魔力を加工して弾くことぐらいしかできないのよね、私。
Okay, so yeah, Toko took the family crest and just fucked off. So Aoko's not able to do that much. Is what I'm gathering from this. Unless their family's magic circuit is just dog shit, but I highly doubt that. Laughing to herself, she looked for a bounded field or something similar more suited to her current ability. The identity of the witness was still unknown, but if they were a classmate of Aoko's, she had any number of pretexts by which to lure them out. The problem was after that. Yeah, the murder bit, yeah. That is a bit of a problem.
そうなると、問題は命中率よね。一撃で決めないと逃げられちゃうだろうし。
To be honest, she wasn't confident she could handle this smoothly without Alice's support. But Aoko saw no reason to ask for help, given that the target in question was a regular bystander. Oh, this is gonna go well for them, isn't it? Totally, for sure. Fledgling as she was, she still had her pride as a mage. And Alice is probably just watching her through the crack in the door, like, what's she doing? She continued to turn through the pages rhythmically. In the midst of the fluttering sound of thumbing through the volume, Aoko suddenly stopped her finger at a certain page.
見つけた。
She smiled to herself. It was a simple formula that she had tucked away somewhere in the recesses of her memory. A spell of simple destruction.
檻をね、作ればいいのよ。
Is she implying she's gonna put someone in a cage and then blow it up? That's how I'm interpreting this. Is she's gonna put said witness in a cage and blow it up. You know, I don't know if that. I mean, I guess it's effective if you can get them in a cage, but okay.
狩りをする時の常套手段じゃない。獲物を逃げられないようにするのは。
but she again, well, she doesn't know it yet, but she's still going after someone who literally lived in the mountains and probably hunted. So whether this will work on someone who's familiar with said tricks, you know, well, we'll see. We'll see. She placed a bookmark in the book, closed it, and got up to return to her room. Suddenly, she felt someone watching her. Through the window, she saw her in the night. A girl staring back with a cold-hearted expression. Yourself? Uh-huh. Yeah. The girl's face was hers, the expression undoubtedly her own. She began planning how to erase the witness. Though to say it was something as elaborate as a plan was overkill. This was just a job. She was going to make a cage and then lure her prey into it. There was no getting around it. Premeditated violence. Yeah.
さ、そろそろアリスは上がったかな。
Spoken in the hope a bath would return some warmth to her chilled heart. I don't know if baths can do that, but you know. I mean, in the literal physical sense, yeah, I guess, but in the metaphorical sense, she's going for nah. About 20 minutes had passed since she gave Alice the privilege of the first of the hot water. Alice tended to bathe quickly, finishing well under 10 minutes. Her roommate was the type that could not understand the spirit of the bath, treating it as nothing more than a necessity for looking after one's body. That's a shame. For Alice, the concept of staying at a hot spring inn sounded more like a chore than anything, though in this regard, Aoko had to agree.
よし、浴場はカラッと。あれ、今に電気ついてる？
Yeah, I guess it is. Also, I know it's on purpose but like her in her bright blue like sweater and like in jeans versus the background where it's like all like brown and gray is, yeah, that's quite the contrast. I guess it's on purpose. It was unusual for Alice to sit in the drawing room after her bath. On nights when she had nothing to discuss, it was her style to return directly to her bedroom. So does she have something to discuss, or no one?
アリス、いるの？
No one's here. Oh, she is. Okay, never mind. Alice nodded. Also, I like that outfit. Very simple, but elegant. I will say, the fact, I mean, I guess to be fair, we've only seen, like, their school clothes and the clothes they're both currently in, but the fashion shown so far is actually pretty nice. Definitely more, modern than what we saw in, like, Fate. With no book in hand, it appeared that Alice had been waiting for Aoko.
そういうこと。私も信用ないな、ほんと。
Well, I mean, you did seem pretty unsure. Aoko scratched her head in exasperation. Was it that Alice was worried about her or had no faith in her? Would either be satisfactory to you? Her expression was so calm, Aoko could hardly figure what she was thinking.
方針なら決まったけど、聞く？
Yeah.
その顔を見れば聞かなくてもわかるわ。
That, just by the look in her face, that's impressive.
迷いがなくなったのはいいことだけど、悪い癖ね、青子。
Yeah. Alice let out a small sigh. It was unusual for Alice to make such a display of her disappointment.
ええ、騙し討ちは趣味じゃないから。殺すにしても正々堂々、正面から理由を言った後にする。
Okay, that's nice of you. I mean, you're still gonna murder him, so that's kind of unfortunate, but at least you'll know why.
それならすっぱり後腐れもないし、文句ある？
文句はないわ。そういうの好きか嫌いかはこの際関係ないでしょうし。
Okay.
けど。
Okay, what is it?
確実性はどうかってことでしょ。私いまいち命中率悪いし、その辺の問題は場所選びでフォローしようかなと。私はアリスのようにはいかないから、物理的に逃げられない場所にしようと思うんだけど、何かアイディアない？
Alice nodded in thought. The finger that gently rested on her lips indicated that the question was to her liking.
鏡はどう？鏡の国なら永遠に閉じ込めていられるけど。
The House of What?
あんたそういうところ常識ないわよね。
Okay. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. She frowned at Alice's bad taste. It was the kind of idea her roommate found to be inspired, but Aoko knew was out of the question. Okay. Aoko was looking for a natural bounded field she could prepare, not a realm bordering on true magic that she couldn't create to begin with. Okay, if that's what that is, then I assume Alice was probably joking then. I would think.
なら他を当たるのね。でもここを使うのだけはやめてちょうだい。
You know, given the fact that in the startup screen for MiHoYo on PlayStation, it literally shows him in the mansion with them. I mean, that could just be a art piece they use for the startup screen. It could be, but I'm willing to bet that he ends up here. Oh.
言われなくても分かってるって。
Doesn't she?
けど、そうね。
Aoko? Why the smirk?
ミラーハウスはいいアイディアかも。
Oh no. Oh no. Aoko, whatever you're thinking, no. Oh god, she's gonna fill the house with mirrors, isn't she, and bring him here? Oh god, give me a literal house of mirrors. Aoko smirked and shifted her balance away from the wall she was resting on.
Thank you, アリス。全体の流れは出来上がったわ。
Oh no. Oh no.
ほんと、こういうのってダメ元でも相談してみるものよね。
Alice, stop her. Stop her! Now in a good mood, Aoko retreated from the drawing room. Alice tried and failed to visualize what kind of blueprint Aoko had drawn up in her mind, but whatever it was, it appeared to be the thorough kind Aoko was good at. You should have stopped her. Aoko headed for the bathroom, humming to herself as she went. A year and a half of sharing a living space had taught Alice something. When Aoko Awazaki was in this good of a mood, only deep trouble could follow. Yeah, you're probably right.
青子一人に任せていいのかですって。
Is she talking to a familiar? I assume she's talking to a familiar. Oh, with the bird, right? Yeah, with the bird, right. It was unclear how long the bird had been in the drawing room. Chirping at Alice, the robin-like bird pranced across the furniture as if it were its property.
そうね。彼女が一人でやると言ったのだから、任せるのが正しい信頼関係なんでしょうけど。
The girl in black raised her arm. The bird, chirping once again, alighted on her outstretched, affectionate finger.
嫌な話だけど、信頼と信用はまた違う話よね。
So you have oh, okay. So you have faith that she can do it, but you don't trust that she will. That's how I'm choosing to read that. The bird puffed out its stout chest in agreement. And Aoko was none the wiser to her roommate's rather unsettling comments. Oh boy. What? Where are we now? Okay, with that, I am going to end off. That was rather abrupt. But, yeah, next time... Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Next time we will finish off Chapter 4. Which... I'm assuming... Oh, no, Oh! No, tea time refers to the in-between, like, screen. Okay. How did I only get that now? But yeah, anyway, yeah, next time we'll finish off Chapter 4, Blues in Her Name, where I assume Aoko's gonna find out who it was that witnessed the not murder in the park. Probably. That or it gets stretched out another chapter. But yeah, we'll see. Wait. Yeah, no, she should definitely find out here, right? Because Sojiro literally told Tobimaru who was out. But no, he doesn't know that's the exact reason why. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Later.